Hello friends, how are you doing today? This is Maria Vilas. Hope you're doing well. In the last 3 videos, we talked about 3 different aspects that can help us bring balance and feel more like ourselves. I chose those 3 topics because they're very key aspects of our own healing, and I'm going to continue referring back to them as we move along with these videos. So the topics of inner peace, self-care, and how grateful we are what we have today are very important um, issues and aspects to keep in mind, to stay grounded and stay positive, right, regardless of what comes our way. And they give us very easy ways to bring us back to where we need to be, regardless of what happens to us. And they bring significant results very, very quickly. So if we can keep this in mind, will help us. So that's why I chose those three topics for our first 3 videos. Today we're switching gears a little bit, and we're talking about a subject that I'm often being asked about, and I thought would be a good topic for today. And this is the idea of energy. What is energy? What is this energy we talk about when we mention energy healing? You know, why do we need to heal our energy? Why is this important? And what can we do about it, right? How can we incorporate that into our lives, right, and become aware of that? So when we're talking about energy healing, of course, there's many definitions for energy. So we're going to concentrate on the one that has to do with this idea. So the easiest way to describe energy is comparing it to our physical body, right? We can see ourselves, we can touch our skin, you know, we're fully aware of our body, of how we look like, or of how we feel like. So this is one reason why it's most people just tend to identify with themselves physically, right? But there's another aspect of ourselves that we tend to disregard often, and that's our energy. We have this invisible force, if you call it, within us, right? That most people are not aware of. Most people don't see it, don't feel it, and therefore they think that all they are is flesh and bones, right? It's this body. This is all I am, and when this body dies, you know, I'm done. I'm just no longer the concept of me, right? And that brings a lot of attachment and suffering. So understanding that we also are this energy within us, it's important. And this energy, it's not only within ourselves, human beings, but it's everywhere. So you know, everything besides us, like animals, plants, the air, the water, everything has energy. Even empty space in between that might seem like there's nothing there, there's energy there as well. Even things that might seem to be completely lacking life also has energy, right? And what does this mean? This means that we all connected through this invisible force, right? All our energies, like my energy is connected to yours, and we're connected to the air, and we're connected to the earth, and we're connected to the water and to the animals. We all connected, regardless where we are, regardless what language we speak, how we look like, how, you know, how different our cultures might be, how different our beliefs might be. We all connected, right? And the best way to describe this connection that we have with everything, it's sort of like an invisible web, right? Like a spider web that's invisible, that we don't see it, we don't feel it, but connect us all, right? And this is important to understand, because this means that whatever I do affects you, and vice versa, and whatever we do affects our surroundings. Not only the people around us, the places that that we go to, but also it affects all the living beings, right? The animals, the plants, the earth, the water, the planet, right? We are all connected. We're in this together, right? And this is something that's becoming more and more apparent, right? It's becoming more of a reality for more people as they connect with this idea that we are all one, we all connected, right? So besides the idea of our connection that is there regardless of whether we see it or feel it or not, right? There's also an energy that there is in our thoughts. What we think also has an energy. The words that we speak also have their own energy, right? Not only before we say them or think of them, but also once they're being spoken and they're out in the world, they're out there with their own energy. Our actions also have energy, right? What I do has its energy. So that's another reason why it's very important to keep in mind that when we say, or we think something that's not positive, it has its weight, and it weighs us down, and it weighs those that we are affecting, right? Let's say we're saying something bad to someone, we're having an argument, and we thinking all these nasty thoughts about that person because we're so angry, we're so upset with them, and we say some of those things, and maybe we do something that's bad to that person because we're so upset. That's gonna weigh us down, that's gonna have its effect on us, and it's also gonna affect the other person, right? The same thing with everything else, right? And this also means, once we start thinking about this also means that if we have had an event that was negative or traumatic that we haven't forgotten, let's say something that we're thinking about, right? Something that didn't go well, didn't go as planned, or maybe someone did something to us, someone lied to us, someone betrayed our trust, or let's say we just went to a traumatic event like the loss of a loved one, or maybe we had a car accident, for example, or we've been diagnosed with a illness, right? And regardless of when that event happened, if we haven't put closure to that within ourselves, regardless of whether it involves someone else or not, but if we haven't made peace with ourselves when it comes to that event, the weight of that memory, or whatever it is that we keep going over and over in our heads, right? It's weighing us down. That energy, it's also can be affect us in many different ways, even eventually physically. It could present itself physically as well, and that just began just with a feeling or an emotion or a thought, right? Or how we regret not doing something, or not saying something, or not accomplishing something, or not having the courage to do something, whatever that might be that we regret and we constantly are going over and over in our heads. That all weighs us down, right? All that energy, it's not good. And these are all things that we also should be concerned about as much as we are concerned about our physical health. And I mentioned the idea of being diagnosed with an illness or a chronic disease, like people getting COVID right now. Um, you know, this, usually when we are diagnosed with a health problem and we've been told we have to take medication or we have to go through some treatment or our lifestyle has to change, right? Or in the case of COVID, we have to go on quarantine, we can't go out, it can bring us down. It can have a severe effect, never mind the physical effect, right, of the actual illness. But emotionally, right, we're sad. We might get depressed. We might even cry, right, depending on the severity of the issue, right? The same thing when we find out that someone we care about is not doing well, right? We worry, right? And that also has a weight, right? And can affect how quick we can recover. Because we are sad and depressed because we're sick, right? Instead of concentrating on getting better and what I need to do to regain my health, if I focus on, oh my God, I'm so sick, I can't believe I got this, how am I gonna, I'm never gonna be the same again, it's gonna take me forever to recover. All these thoughts, all these ideas really go very deep within yourself and can have an effect on how quick you recover or how well you react to whatever situation. And this applies to pretty much everything, right? From bad news to what's going on out in the world. You're reading the news, you're watching TV, you're being exposed to different things. All that has a weight. All that has this energy, right? And it can affect us in different ways, right? So these are all very important things that we also need to be concerned about, right? And also how we deal with stress, how we handle a difficult situation, right? That take us off balance. We can't do anything about that. Things will happen. But if we constantly are on a high, level of stress, when something else comes, we tend to fall apart because we already have a full cup, right? We kind of overflowing at that point. So it's always important to empty our cup, right? Work on ourselves, really maintain ourselves, right? Just like we are aware that we're supposed to take care of our physical health, we also have to take care of our emotional health, right? How we feel about ourselves, right? How we carry ourselves, what are the thoughts that are coming out of our minds, out of our heads, the words that come out of our mouths, the actions that come out without thinking, right? That just come out spontaneously. Those are the things we need to worry about, to be in more of a balance, right? To be in harmony with ourselves and be able to feel happier, feel like we're living a more fulfilled life. So it's important to not only understand this idea, but also take action. Also be willing to take a minute and slow down and try to understand where these thoughts, where those words, where those actions are coming from. Why am I saying this? Why am I thinking this way, right? What can I do about this? Where is this coming from, right? Let's take a step back and let's take a look at that. Let's take a minute and pay attention to the elephant in the room, right? Let's start looking the other way. Let's not wait until things gets out of hand to do something about it. It's very important. It's as important as it is of taking care of our physical health, right? Let's not wait until we are at a point that we don't know what to do. We see doctors, we getting medication and we don't get better, we get worse. we don't know what's going on. We get tested and nothing comes up, or there's no clear answer of what's going on with me, but I know something is wrong, right? The number of people that come to me on a high level of stress, dealing already with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, already on medication, already being treated, already having multiple, not only physical conditions, but also being on antidepressants, going to therapists. It's alarming. And the more we're willing to do to take action and do something about this side of ourselves that we have been disregarding for so long, all our lives in some cases, can bring can bring improvement, can help us along the way, right? So what can we do, right, if we want to get started, if we want to take action about this? So let's just think of one event, right? Let's just think of the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to something that we're not happy about, whether it was something we did, we say, we thought, right? Whether it involves someone else or ourselves, whether it was a situation, right? Whatever it might be, right? Whatever it is that might upset you, might make you sad, whatever you might regret doing, maybe it's something you didn't do or didn't say, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just think of that one particular event, and let's just concentrate on that. So in the case, if this one event feels a bit too traumatic, too difficult, and we don't want to think about it, we don't want to remember it, we don't want to go over that because it's too painful, right? It's too traumatic, we're not ready for that just yet. We can concentrate, if the first thing that comes is something related to that event, let's concentrate on one of those feelings related to that event. Like, let's say whatever happened made me angry, or whatever happened made me sad, or whatever happened made me feel ashamed or feel guilty. Let's focus on that feeling, on one of those, just one. And once we have chosen that event, that feeling, that thought, that word or phrase, or whatever it might be, let's just sit with ourselves for a minute. Let's close our eyes. Let's try to take a deep breath. Try to think about that, whatever it might be that we've chosen. If it's possible, let's put our hands on our chest. And as we relive this event, we go over it. You go back to that moment in time, that place. If it involves someone else, we with that person, whatever it was. Let's go back to that event, but with this time, we're going to bring light to this event. We're going to bring unconditional love to this event. We're going to bring compassion to this event. If you tend to be a little bit visual, you can surround this event, that moment in time, that place, that thought, with a light of a particular color, like white or goldish yellow or pink or purple. Is your decision. If that's something that will help you bring a better energy to that event. And now, let's try to make peace with this. If it was something we did not have the courage to say, let's say now what we wanted to say but we didn't say. Let's change the outcome of this event. Let's just make peace with ourselves. Let's be compassionate to ourselves and to others that might have been involved with this. Let's forgive ourselves for putting ourselves in this situation, and forgive anyone else that might have been involved. Right? Let's bring some understanding. Let's try to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. Right? And let's put this behind us. Let's let the weight of this memory of this event finally lift from our shoulders. Let's make peace with it. Let's be okay with what happened. Let's acknowledge it happened. And we can change what happened, but we can be at peace with it. If it brought some sort of teaching, or there was something that we learned as a result of this event, let's acknowledge that. Let's be thankful for that, for being able to learn something from that. And let's let that go. And once we're done, let's sit there for a minute or two, feeling how it feels like not to be with that weight on our shoulders anymore, not to carry that memory anymore. And when we're ready, we can open our eyes and come back to the room. And try to maintain that peace from letting that go, right? And if this is something that you feel that after you do it once, it comes back again, feel free to do this as many times as it takes for you to be able to fully let this go, right? Sometimes it takes more than one time to do this, to let it go fully, especially it's been there for a long time. There'll be occasions when just doing it once will be more than enough. It's gone for good. So I hope you like this. I hope it brought you some understanding of what we refer to when we're talking about energy. I hope this tip will help you if this is something that you constantly struggle with. I thank you for watching this video. Please like it if you think it has been helpful. I will welcome your feedback if you try this and you have any questions or you want to let me know how it went. Also, if you have any other ideas for other videos, I will greatly appreciate any information or what you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And don't forget to wear your mask. Blessings.